Hey, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. I'm glad to have you. So last week I did a video on the actual prison guard that had a relationship with the inmate with the viral video. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and check that out on my channel. This week we are going to be going over something a little bit more intense. I feel it's kind of disgusting. Warning. Other than that, how's everybody been doing? I know the weather here, like last week I said, it was a little bit cooler. It's even more cooler this week. I mean, it feels like straight fall outside, but it's still August. It's fine. I'm here for it. I like fall. It's great. I love summer though, but what are you gonna do? So, we've got the Oklahoma family that was hidden for years. And apparently, nobody had a clue. So August 2023, a tip was given to the police in Oklahoma City. And this tip had to do with a man that actually lived in a normal, semi-decent house. And everybody seemed like they didn't know anything other than that it was just a normal place, normal house, and a normal guy. Inside this man's home was totally different. There was a total of 11 people living there that were his family. Neighbors in the community had no idea what was going on inside of this house. 9 of these people being children and 2 of them being the dad, husband, and the mom, wife, / Nothing weird with that, right? It doesn't sound weird, it just sounds like a big family. No, this is a little different. The weird part of this is the tip that was actually given to the police. The tip that the stepdaughter and the father were actually hugging and kissing in a weird manner, like a not so father like daughter kind of relationship, hugging, kissing thing. This all coming from a Doris Cole, a business owner. She has a few businesses. She actually has this father that is part of this family work for her in 2017, and throughout the years they continue to work together. Well, at one point in this, she notices that there's a little something funny going on with this family. So Doris and the father, they work up till 2021, and the father starts bringing his 2 daughters that he has, and when he brings them around, they look like they haven't been taken care of. They haven't changed clothes. They haven't showered. They haven't brushed their teeth. None of that. And Doris also notices how they speak. That it's like they have an accent, but it's not an accent, she figures out. They haven't had enough schooling as children that they are at the age that they were. They should have had some kind of schooling by then. She even asks the father about homeschooling, but apparently he brushes her off, kind of blows her off, and doesn't answer the question.
Someone paying attention. And believe it or not, he was telling on himself every single day. No one listened.
A family of 11 lived here. Mom, dad, and 9 children, hidden away from the world.
They never left the house only with him.
The children had never been to school, the doctors, or even a movie theater, all to conceal a secret they never knew was wrong: their dad's relationship with their stepsister.
Did you know that the younger kids were your dad's kids too?
That I already knew about. I never knew that it was anything wrong with it.
We just grew up like if it was normal to us.
At 12 years old, their oldest sister had her first baby with their dad, according to court documents. She gave birth to 4 more inside this home. KOCO sat down with 3 of the siblings who who wanted to share their story.
So when she had her first baby, you were just little.
Yeah, I think I was 7 or 8.
Did you ever question why you guys weren't allowed to leave the house more?
Not too much, because Dad always said that he didn't want us to get hurt, or because he protecting us because of the people that are outside.
But that would all change.
I was looking for someone to paint the ceilings, and he answered the ad.
Doris Cole hired the father in 2017 as a contractor. She was opening several businesses at 10th and May.
They looked really crazy every day. The clothes, from the clothes that they wore, from the smell.
He started taking 2 of his teenage daughters to work, and Doris picked up on something she couldn't let go.
They couldn't read, they couldn't write.
He tried to homeschool us, and then it went from trying to not doing.
And the speech was really bad. When I first met her, I thought she had an accent.
She would question the family's homeschooling, the father's persistent phone alerts, and the van packed full of food and clothing. But there was nothing overtly wrong.
Every day it was driving me insane because there's nothing I could do about it. It was nothing I had to tell the cops.
Until she met the stepdaughter.
The first time I met her was in the hallway, and I said, man, that girl looked like she just had a child. She was young, and he was looking at her as if she was some sort of candy. I started putting stuff together. I said, okay, maybe those kids are hers and his.
The family became distant.
After this, Doris gets a bad feeling and she starts asking questions. Well, once she starts asking questions, the father and this family, they kind of just back up, and the father stops bringing the kids. He stops coming, and it takes about 2 years, and then the father finally starts coming back in 2023. And when he comes back, this is when he finally comes clean and he admits, yes, my stepdaughter is actually my lover, and yes, this is my wife, but she is just that, is my wife. Well, Doris now has finally had what she has been feeling is wrong. She finally has evidence that this is not right. And this is when she gives the tip to the police. So before this, Doris actually had the police go and check on this house that the father and these kids were staying at. They checked on this house, and the wife and the husband, they answer, and they figure out that there's only 4 children there, and none of them are underage. There's no kids there. It's just them and their 4 children, right? Well, actually, people were saying that there's a total of 11 people in that house, 9 of them being children, and 5 of those children were actually underage. And 5 of those children were fathered by the father, of course, but also apparently by the stepdaughter that is part of this family. So remember, the father actually does come back in 2023, and he starts working for Doris again. Well, Doris still has this feeling, of course, and she actually gets it to where they move into one of her houses that she actually owns, so that she can keep more of an eye on the whole family, and she can figure out what is going on with this situation. Because not only does she have a bad feeling about this, but she also seen the father and the stepdaughter hugging and kissing again after he admits that, yes, this is my lover. And she still is not okay with this. I mean, it's not okay. There's nothing okay about it. So Doris is now working with the police, and Doris now has it to where she can actually keep an eye on this family and the father. She sees what they're doing. The investigators, the police, they are actually looking into this. They are talking to neighbors, talking to people around them, and they figure out that there's more to this story they go to the house and they find that he is not there. And they have to get a hold of Doris and figure out where he's at. Well, Doris knows where he's at now because he is now staying in a house that she owns, of course, right? So they're actually allowed to go into this house when they get there. But when they go in, it is a sight that nobody wants to see. They see the 5 underage children unbathed, no dental work done to their mouth, not taken care of, and a soiled mattress on the floor that they all slept on together. And apparently, talking to these children, they say that they've never had a doctor, that they've never seen a doctor, that they've never been to the hospital, and that their father was their doctor, that their father was the one that actually was in charge of taking care of them, looking and examining at them, and also they said that the father touched them, examined their body, touched them like a doctor, but they said that the father said it was okay because this was him being a doctor. So not only did this father have a relationship with his stepdaughter, but he was also touching his sister.
Did you know that the younger kids were your dad's kids too?
That I already knew about. I never knew that it was anything wrong with it.
Yeah, we just grew up like if it was normal to us.
At 12 years old, their oldest sister had her first baby with their dad, according to court documents. She gave birth to 4 more inside this home. KOCO sat down with 3 of the siblings who wanted to share their story.
So when she had her first baby, you were just little.
Yeah, I think I was 7 or 8.
Did you ever question why you guys weren't allowed to leave the house more?
Not too much, because Dad always said that he didn't want us to get hurt, or because he protecting us because of the people that are outside. He tried to homeschool us, and then it went from trying to not doing.
What was the feeling inside of your house?
I was hurt because my dad took forever to come.
The adult kids were left alone with their secret siblings, waiting for their dad to face up to the crime.
Both see her also as a victim. Do you see that too?
Now, yes.
You don't think she should be arrested?
No.
No, I never thought that Dad would touch us or say anything sexual to us, so I never worried about it. I can't hate them because hate is a strong word. I could only forgive them. I could only forgive my dad. And I could leave the rest of it into God's hands.
Today, the adult kids still live in Doris's home and work for her. They're now enrolled in school.
I'm doing better at my reading. So I read a book yesterday.
Have their first IDs, are learning how to drive, and working to get their sister's children back to her from state custody.
Now, looking back, do you feel grateful that Doris intervened?
Yes. Because she was helping us.
I actually talked to the wife in this family, and apparently the stepdaughter, that's called the stepdaughter throughout this whole thing, she admits that that is actually her and the father in this family's biological daughter. So and that the 5 children, younger children, are her children by the wife's husband, by the daughter's father. The father and the daughter had 5 children together. And this started happening when she was 12 years old. Her first child was 12 years old. And then her second child was when she was 13 years old. And then it continued. So let's recap that. These 5 children were fathered and mothered by a father and daughter in the same family. The wife knew about this. Why she thinks this is okay is beyond me. These children were birthed in the house, never seen a doctor, never seen a hospital, nothing. The mother and father were arrested. The mother, father, the wife, the husband, very confusing, I know. They were both arrested and are in prison. They were charged, and then their charges were actually upgraded as well. Thank goodness. Neighbors, even the children themselves, said that the husband, father, he would not let them go anywhere. They weren't allowed to go anywhere, and they were just hidden away. The 5 children, they were taken away, thank goodness. And the parents of these children, I don't know about the actual, who they called stepdaughter. I feel myself that she is a victim in this because she just had no idea. It's how she was raised. But all I can say is the parents are put away, and this case is still going, and they're not controlling these children anymore, because this would have just continued. If it wasn't for Doris, it would have continued, and there would have been more kids involved and just more abuse that would have went on. These kids are going to have a better chance at life now. They will have to relearn life, but I'm just glad that they are able to get out and actually be a person. What do I think about this? I, myself, thank goodness for Doris. Doris, she's freaking awesome. The fact that she kept an eye on this family, she knew something was going on. I think that we should all be a Doris. We should all keep an eye on our surroundings. We should all pay attention to what's going on around us, because not only for our safety, but for everybody else's safety as well. I mean, this 12-year-old had to go through having 5 children by her father. Who does that? A psycho does that. That's what I'll say. How do you guys feel about this? I mean, does this disturb you as much as it disturbs me? I mean, this case is wild. This case is crazy. I don't even understand how a father could do that to their child and then continue to do that to their child. And then the wife, I don't understand how she was even kind of okay with this. Yeah, no, that's something else. I don't even understand. This was a wild story. If you guys are still here, I'm glad. Thanks for sticking around. Let me know how you feel about this. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if there's any more about this story. I know it's not over yet. There will continue to be stuff coming out about it. But thank you for watching. Be safe out there. And don't talk to strangers.